Hello students and a warmer welcome in this 14th lecture of the oscillation chapter. Now students, we will be seeing the next part of this oscillation chapter. Now till now student, we have discussed about the graphical representation of the particle performing SHM at the mean position and the graphical representation of the particle performing SHM at the extreme position. So these are the most important questions which I have asked frequently in the exam. So students, if you want to learn that again, then visit my 12-13 video, then you will get it very easily. Now in this lecture, we will proceeding the next part of the chapter. Now students, we will see the next part of this chapter. Now in this part, we are going to learn about the two particles which are simultaneously performing the SHM. Okay, so this is the derivation we have to derive here. So for that, consider a particle subjected to simultaneously to two SHMs, means two particles are performing SHM simultaneously, then having the same period and along the same path, means they possess the same period and the same path, and but of the different amplitude. Amplitude means the values of A are different. Now, and the initial phase also means they possess the different amplitude and the different initial phases, means the both of the particle will perform at the different will begin the oscillation or begin the SHM at the different initial phases. Now the resultant displacement at any instant is equal to the vector sum of its displacement. Means students, they have told us that the resultant displacement of any instant, means the resultant displacement that we will get will be equal to the vector sum of its displacement due to the both the SHMs at that time, at that instant. So now we will see the next part. Now students, the displacement equation for both the particles which are performing SHM simultaneously will be, the displacement for the first particle will be, as you can see here, x1 is equal to a1 sine of omega t plus phi 1. So this is the displacement equation for the first particle who is performing SHM. At the same time, the particle 2 will be perform the SHM, and the displacement equation for the second particle will be, you can see here students in the first line, x2 is equal to a2 sine of omega t plus phi 2. So this is the two equations for the particle which are performing SHM simultaneously. Now the resultant displacement x at any instant will be given as x1 plus x2, means the summation of x1 and some x1 and x2 will be the resultant displacement at any instant. Now we will just add them up. Now x will be x1 plus x2. So the value of x1 we will put a1 sine of omega t plus phi 1 plus a2 sine of omega t plus phi 2. So this is the value of first displacement of the first particle and the second displacement of the second particle we have given here. Now the x will be a1 sine of omega t into cos phi and a1 cos omega t into sine phi. Now students, we will just we will just expand with the help of the trigonometric formulae. This you can see here, the sine of omega t plus phi 1 will be get expand like a1 sine of omega t into cos of phi 1 plus a1 cos of omega t into sine of phi 1, means we have used the trigonometric formula sine of a plus b, which will be sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. So this is the formula which we have used here. Now similarly, in the equation for the second displacement equation which have possessed the second particle will be the same one. Now that expansion of that second displacement will be a2 sine of omega t into cos of phi 2 plus a2 cos of omega t into sine of phi 2. So this will be the expansion of the second displacement equation. Now simply a1 a2 phi 1 phi 2 are constant, as we know that the a1 a2 and phi 1 phi 2 are the constant and omega t is the variable. Thus the collecting the constant together means the constant term we will take together. So equation will form a1 cos of phi 1 plus a2 cos of phi 2 into sine of omega t plus a1 sine of phi 1 plus a2 sine of phi 2 into cos of omega t. So we have collected the constant terms into the bracket, and out of the bracket there are the variables we have collected. Now As the a1, a2 and phi1, phi2 are the constant, we can combine them in terms of another convenient resultant, means we will use the another convenient constant r and the delta. Now students, if you just put up the value in terms of r and delta, then it will be r cos of delta will be equal to a1 cos of phi1 plus a2 cos of phi2. So this is the first equation, and after that in terms of sign, r sin of delta will be a1 sin of phi1 plus a2 sin of phi2. So this is the equation number second has formed. After that, the x which is given as r into sin omega t into cos delta, cos plus cos omega t into sin delta. So this combined equation will be x is equal to r into sin of omega t plus delta, means the above equation is the expanded form of the sin of a plus b, means it is the x is equal to r sin of omega t plus delta. So this is the equation of SHM of the same angular frequency. But the same amplitude of r and the initial phase delta. Now students, if we have to calculate the resultant amplitude, then it will be, as you can see, r is equal to root of r sin of delta square plus r cos of delta square. So this is the resultant amplitude we can calculate like. Now students, we will substituting the equation from the 5.17 and 5.18, as you can see. Now students, r square will be now a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos of phi1 minus phi2. So as we will put the value of r cos delta and r sin delta, and we will get the term a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos of phi1 minus phi2 will be the term remain. Now simply we have to form the equation number 2. Again we will take the square root, then it will be r will be root of a1 square plus a2 square 2a1 a2 cos of phi1 minus phi2 will be the equation remain. Now student, initial phase delta of the resultant motion dividing equation 5.18 by the equation 5.17, means the above equation will be divided by the equation which we have derived later. So it will be r sin of delta upon r cos of delta. It will be a1 sin of phi1 plus a2 sin of phi2 upon a1 cos of phi1 plus a2 cos of phi2. Now students, r will be get cancelled as it is in numerator and denominator. So sin delta upon cos delta, it will be tan delta. Now the further equation will be as it is, the a1 sin of phi1 plus a2 sin of phi2 upon a1 cos of phi1 plus a2 cos of phi2. Now if you want to calculate the delta only, then it will be tan inverse of a1 sin of phi1 plus a2 sin of phi2 upon a1 cos of phi1 plus a2 cos of phi2. So this will be the value of delta. Now students, after that we will see some special cases. The case 1 is if the two SHMs are in phase phi1 minus phi2 is equal to 0 degree and cos of phi1 minus phi2 is equal to 1, then it will be r is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 will be equal to plus minus, means square root of it will be plus. Now as you can see student, if a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a, then the r will be 2a, as we can conclude from the above equation, that is from the resultant. Now second case is if the two SHMs are at 90 degree out of phase. Now the phi1 minus phi2 is equal to 90 degree, therefore cos of phi1 minus phi2 is equal to 0. Now r is equal to root of a1 square plus a2 square, and the further a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a. Now likewise we can calculate the r now. So r will be root of 2 into a, means root 2 into a. Now in this third case, if the two SHMs are at 180 degree out of phase, then the phi 1 minus phi 2 is equal to 180 degree. So the cos of phi 1 minus phi 2 will be the minus 1, as we have already learned. So the resultant will be a1 square plus a2 square minus 2a1 a2. So the r will be modulus of a1 minus a2. Thus the further, if a1 is equal to a2 is equal to a, then r we will get will be equal to 0. Now student, this is the equation we have derived for the composition of two particles performing SHM at the same path with the same period. Now student, we will see the next part. So now students, we will see the energy of particle performing SHM. So as you can see, while the particle is performing SHM, the particle possesses speed, means that will nothing but the kinetic energy at all the position except the extreme position. Means students, when the particle is at the extreme position, so its a kinetic energy, its a speed is almost 0. That's why the particle has to come again its a equilibrium position. That's why the kinetic energy will be 0 at its extreme position. Now, in spite of presence of restoring force, the particle occupies the various positions. Now, this is an indication that the work is done. Means the work is to be done. That's why the particle has to move from the one position to other position. Then the system has a potential energy. And now we can say the total energy of the particle performing an SHM is thus the sum of kinetic energy and the potential energy. As we know that the energy are of two types, P and K. So the total sum will be the energy which has particle possessed to move from the one position to other position. Now students, we have to make some considerations and use of diagram for this demonstration. Now consider a particle of mass m performing a linear SHM along the path mn. Now you can see in the diagram student, we have to consider the particle P having the mass m and who is performing linear SHM along the path mn about the mean position O. Now at a given instant, means at given instant of time, let the particle be at a P, means particle is at the point P and at a distance x from its equilibrium positions, means from the origin the particle is at the distance x from the point origin. Now students, velocity of the particle will be given as a omega cos omega t. Now where x is the displacement of the particle performing SHM and a is the amplitude of the SHM, thus the kinetic energy of that particle may be given as the half m omega square into a square minus x square, which will be further equal to half k into a square minus x square. So this will be our equation number 5121. Now this is the kinetic energy of the displacement x. So this is the Ke of the particle at the distance x. Now at time t it is, means when the time will be considered, at time t it is k is equal to half mv square is equal to half m a square omega square into cos square omega t plus phi. So this is the value of kinetic energy at time t. Now students, here you can see the k is the introduced here, which is the force constant. K is the force constant. Now the restoring force acting on the particle at point P is given as we know that the restoring force we are given as F is equal to minus kx, where k is the force constant. Thus suppose that the particle is displaced further by infinitesimal displacement dx. Now against the restoring force F, the external work done during this displacement will be given as, the small amount of this work done will be given as dw is equal to F into minus dx, will be further equal to minus kx, as we put the value of F as a minus kx. So this will be further kx dx, means as minus minus will be into, so the final value will be kx dx. Now student, if you want to calculate the total work done on the particle to the displace it from the O to P, means the what amount of work done will be there to displace the particle from O to P, we can give as W is equal to integration of dw, that is integration of dw from 0 to x is equal to integration of kx dx from 0 to x further will be equal to half kx square. So that will be the work done on the particle to displace from the O to P. In student, now this should be the potential energy, means the work done will be the potential energy. Now EP of the particle at displacement x will be, that is the potential energy EP will be half kx square is equal to half m omega square into x square. Means the value of k we have calculated above, so it will be m omega square into x square. Now at time t, the EP, that is potential energy, will be half into Ka square sine square omega t plus phi. Means as students we have put the value of x, so we will get the a square sine square omega t plus phi. Now the total potential energy will be EP is equal to half ma square omega square cos square omega t plus phi. So this will be the final expression. Now student, with the time it varies as the sine square theta. Means sine square theta varies with respect to the time. Now thus with the time it varies as sine square theta. Now the total energy of the particle is the sum of its kinetic energy and potential energy, means Ke plus P. So E will be Ke plus P. You can write in a way that Ek plus Ep. Now we will add the equation 5.21, 5.23. We will get E is equal to half m omega square into bracket a square minus x square plus half m omega square x square. So if you will add this, then you will get half m. So student, after the calculation, this will remain E is equal to half m omega square into a square. Now this equation may be also written as half k square, as the value of k may be also written as m omega square. Now, so which will be further equal to half m v square, means half m v max square. So this is the maximum velocity, so we can write as half m v max square. So this is the expression of the total energy of the particle at the point P as in terms of m, omega and a. Now students, next part of this chapter we will see in the next video. Thank you so much.